Thanks for joining me, and let's get rolling. I'm your host, Sam, for the day, and you're stuck with me. Coding, well, actually, not as much coding today, more of tinkering, because we have something exciting that we just pushed out as a release. So let's go over what's in it for developers. I work for Progress Software, and we make tools for developers to be a little bit more productive with whatever you might be doing. We are the makers of Telerik UI for all things .NET, for all of your desktop apps, your mobile apps, and your web apps. And we also do Kendo UI for all of your JavaScript apps. And we do testing, we do reporting, we do Fiddler, lots of different things. This is all that's new across all of our product lines, and it's a lot. So we call this dev tools internally because it includes all of Telerik UI, all of reporting, testing, Fiddler, and all of those things. So here's a blog post on everything that's included. Today you're going to get kind of a raw view of what it is like. I did have these bits on my machine, but I'm going to pretend that I didn't, so we can just start fresh and look through everything that's in this release. I'm going to talk about something that nobody has ever heard of. You ready? AI. Because you have to do AI. Are you even real if you're not doing AI these days? So we are trying to help out a little bit. If you want to infuse a little bit of AI intelligence in your apps, your .NET apps, there is quite a bit of help from NuGet packages and Microsoft and OpenAI and all types of AI services. What about the UI? You also want to integrate that in a nicer way and maybe bring in parts of AI that are relevant to your users. So we're doing a couple of things here. First is you're going to see us blend some AI with UI. So you're going to see us provide you with some AI prompt UI components that are going to be very easy to light up UI experiences across your mobile, desktop, or web apps. And we're also doing some smart components. This is kind of inspired from the blazor smart components that were announced, and they're still experimental, but hopefully coming in .NET 9. So we are kind of doubling down on this. So if you're using any data grids, if you're using any drop downs, spreadsheets, so we do have a full library of document processing systems that do Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and we can actually use AI to kind of run through that document system and give your users all the benefits. So that's exciting. A lot of design system capabilities coming in. Which is really nice if you're working with design systems for web apps in particular. A lot of Figma integration. Data visualizations get more accessible. You got reporting, data visualization, and spreadsheet component updates. A lot of good things. And here is the bulk of the UI part, all across Blazor, MAUI, WPF, WinUI, you name it. All things for Kendo React, Kendo Angular. More modernization, desktop to web, if you wanted to do that. Xamarin to .NET MAUI, if you want to do that. And we are, on par with some of the latest and greatest. So, Kendo React now works with Next.js, which I have no clue what that, entails, because I have not, dabbled into that. But if you're doing React, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Angular 18 support and .NET 9 preview. So Microsoft build happened like 2 weeks back, 10 days back, and .NET 9 Preview 4 is out, and we already have support for that. So every November, we get a new .NET 9 or .NET, and then .NET 9 is what's scheduled for this November. So productivity boosts, a lot of usual things with JustMock, Fiddler, which we'll cover. So a lot of different things. Now, here is a list of all the products. And each product takes time to write up what's new. So I'm going to tackle the mobile and the desktop things today. We'll talk about all things on Monday, but let's dive into mobile and desktop. So I'm going to start with .NET MAUI. Surprise, like I'm into it. Let's also open up WPF. Might as well WinForms, and I don't think there is anything radically new in WinUI. It's just chugging along nicely. Let's start with these three. Okay. .NET MAUI. All right, so first up is our brand new AI prompt, which is exciting. This is for you to integrate AI services and infuse some of that smartness in your apps. This is kind of what it looks like. We'll cover what it is, but essentially you get a few views. Like there's an input view, there's an output view, there are some special commands. You can have a list of suggestions. So based on the type of app that you're building, maybe it's like for an HR professional, maybe it's like for a field agent, you want to kind of help out with some suggestions as to what the user might be typing. So that's your suggestions prompt. And then you fire those things up to your AI service and you get output results back. And you can style them however you want, which is nice. You can localize them. So I think this is German. So, you can localize things as you need to. We have a brand new collection view. So we had a thing called the list view, and we are just redoing it completely to make it so much better. So now it's called the collection view, and it is, so .NET MAUI has a very basic collection view built in. This one is on steroids because it does a whole lot more with, data binding, virtualization, style templates, programmatic scrolling, sorting, filtering, grouping, different types of orientations, appearance and template-driven command support, everything that you can think of. Templated button. So again, think of a button on steroids with lots and lots of templates and text alignments with without images. Event support, command support, all the good things. Toggle button. This is for kind of the on-off type switches. Again, it caters to iOS or Android if you need to for those specific looks. These are certain things coming from our work with enterprises who are using .NET MAUI suites to build desktop apps, and they are kind of pushing our data grids to an extreme. So we are opening up some of the things that we have done for our customers to everybody. So now when you're rendering a data grid, you do have the option of using some Skia. So maybe some columns you don't want the built-in type of data. You want Skia to be able to draw those columns and what's in it. So it gives you that much more performance at certain cases. So brand new slider component. Again, it's a slider and you get everything that you expect built right in. Value, range control, backtracking, ticks, labels, templates, you name it. Data grid has a new search as you type, which is very cool. So as you start typing in a data grid, it tries to match on the things that you're finding, and you get to control how that search works. Again, more investments from what we are learning based on what enterprise clients are doing with the grid. Now, these things are coming from the document processing libraries. We have a PDF processing, spreadsheet processing, and word processing. This one here is the viewer, which lets you, display any type of PDF inside of your .NET MAUI app without the user having to lose context and go to a different app. It's just built right in. So this one now lets you, be able to select any part of the text and have configurable right-click, context menu options. I'm getting a little warm. Let me get a little fan going. I do have a little remote for my fan, which is nice. It's a little tower fan. All right. So next up is a scheduler with some built-in dialogues, which is very cool. Again, your layering calendars are hard. They are just hard for iOS, Android, and Windows or Mac. This one gives you nicely built-in dialogues, so you can set up appointments without, again, the user having to leave your app and go to the iOS calendar and do things. So it's nice and built in. Custom date formats, date ranges. Rich text editor gets customizable context menu, kind of like the PDF viewer, but this is for you to display any type of HTML content or Word content where the user is trying to build up certain types of rich text, and now you can right click and offer your customizable options. Document processing libraries. This actually benefits all of the UI products across .NET MAUI, Xamarin, WinUI, WPF, Blazor. They all are powered by the same .NET libraries. So any benefits you get with document processing, you get it across all of the UI suites. So it looks like font embedding, OTF file format support, and a few other things. And we have support for like all the way back to .NET Framework 4.6.2. That's going way back. And then everything .NET 6 and above, which is 7, 8, 9, 10, and as new .NETs come along. So that's the gist of all the things with .NET MAUI, and then we have things for WPF and WinForms. Take a look at this for a second. Just think about it. WinForms is like 22 years old now, and WPF is like 15, 16 years old now. They're still going strong, and they're running on the latest .NET 9s, so which is really nice. And we continue investing because our users are building things, very modern desktop apps with WPF and WinUI and WinForms, which is nice. So before we get to desktop with WPF and WinForms, let's start with .NET MAUI. Now, like I said, this is as if I'm starting from scratch. I do have those bits, but I've cleared it out. So as if I'm starting from scratch, okay? So how do I integrate this? I don't need to install anything. I can just get it at a NuGet package, but let's just see what the startup experience is. Here is my File Explorer, and I like keeping things here in my documents. Under Progress, I have some installers. So you can see I have, I used to have a lot of these things I've again cleaned up because they just sit there and take this space. So the older Xamarin bits I've cleaned up. The last MAUI one I have is 6.8.0. So the next one, I'm pretty sure, is a more modern one. So let's sign in. And again, I have lots of different accounts. That one should be fine. Yeah, let's not keep me signed in because I want to be switching accounts when I need to. All right, let's get in. So this is your experience if you are brand new to the Telerik family. Okay, what am I waiting on? Oh, I'm human. Yes, I am human. Can't you see how much I fail? I am human. All right, that's me. One of my accounts. Now, if I go into downloads, this should have all of my products, which is right now all of my DevTools products. Okay, so Telerik UI for .NET MAUI is up to 7.0, and what I had was 6.8. So clearly, there's a newer one out there. So when you are getting it like this, which is where I'm using an installer to get the bits, what you get is some example apps, some sample apps, which we put in the stores as well. You don't have to do this. Again, this is just me trying to get the whole thing. You can just get the NuGet package and call it a day, but this is the whole thing. So if you're on Windows, do the MSI. If you're on Mac, do the package or the zip file, and you get some other setup NuGet packages as well. So let me go get this one here. So that's going to download the package. Here's my download. Yes, open. All right, here we go. So that's the installer, okay? This is going to get us the bits we want. Yeah, let's go through 7.0 installer. We need that. So again, you can do this for Windows and for Mac. Just get the MSI or the package. Yep, install. Oh, now I can't do my fingerprint. All right. So like I said, you don't need to do this, but again, if you're starting from scratch, it's nice to see some of the examples. Yeah, allow. All right, it's done. All right, I don't need that. We're going to close that out, close that out. Let's take a look at my documents. Progress is where I saved it. There it is, okay? So Telerik UI for .NET MAUI 7.0 release. Now, again, you don't need to do that. You can just pull this down from a NuGet package. But if you did run through the installer, here's what you get out of the box. So licensing stuff, and then you get some packages. Now, these are the packages that you can grab and just drop in your project. So they're nicely broken up. This is the NuGet package. Then we have some packages for some of the document processing stuff. So this is the one that you would want, and if you just drop it as a reference in your project, it's just going to light up. It's going to be the same exact NuGet package, but now it's here through an installer. The other things that you get with the installer are some binaries if you want to, still have support for .NET 7 and .NET 8. Now we break it up. And then if I look at the examples, this is where you have some really good stuff. We have some scripts here that lets you switch between .NETs, but otherwise we give you 3 sample projects, okay? And this is really nice because if you look at what is in Telerik UI for MAUI, let's go into demos here. So we have some apps. in particular the Showcase app and the Crypto Tracker app. These two apps are actually full-scale apps. They use certain MVVM patterns, but they don't use any framework. But it's kind of a full-scale app anyways, and they're in the app stores. So you don't need to trust anything that I'm saying today or on Monday during the webinar. Go check it out yourself, because all it needs is for you to go to the iOS, Android, or Microsoft app stores and get the app, check out some of the UI by yourself, and then the crypto app is also nice because it works really nicely. Both of them work really nicely between mobile form factors and desktop. You can see how it caters to different experiences. And we give you the source code for all of that. That's in GitHub. So you don't need to install anything. You can just go take a look. But since I did do the installer, I have those apps right here. Here's the control sample. Here's the crypto tracker. So this is the code base that powers the apps that are in the app stores. So you kind of get a view of what a real world app looks like that's in the app stores. And we also have a thing called an SDK browser, which is kind of a unique app, which is mostly for developers to look at some hardcore use cases, like how do I do this? Like it's a very, it doesn't have a lot of UI. It's for developers to get inspired by, like, how do I do this type of a scenario? So that's what I get. Now, let's take a look at one of these. Again, these are the apps that are already uploaded to the App Store, so you can go look. But since I already have the code local here, let's take a look. So here's the control sample. And what I'm going to do here is new up a terminal here. And I'm just going to do code dot, because I have VS Code in my path environment variable, so it can just launch VS Code. Okay, so I'm on Mac, so VS Code is my natural go-to. You can see it's analyzing the project and trying to get all the dependencies. If you're on Windows, go get the Windows stuff. And yes, I know VS Code. I don't have all of the latest Android stuff because I don't do a lot of Android. I'm mostly an iOS or Windows or Mac kind of a person. Okay, so here's the app, right? And let's take a look at what's in here. So I can look at this through a solution explorer, which is the VS Code way of, or kind of like the VS Code way of mimicking what you see in Visual Studio. So this one is smart. It knows that what's a CS proj. It doesn't show you that. It doesn't show you the bin and the obj directories. It's kind of a polished look at your project, but I don't particularly care to hide the details. Show me everything. So the file explorer is fine, and the reason why it shows these icons really nicely is I have some of the extensions I need restarting, but I have this one here. It's called material icon theme, so it kind of knows what those icons or what those file types are. Oh, and we do have .NET MAUI and Blazor VS Code extensions, so you can get started that much easier. So let's take a look in here. So here are our extensions, our converters, our helpers, platform-specific things, view models, views, all the good things. So if I look at the examples here, this is a list of all the different UI that we have, right, which is a lot. Now, what we could do is actually try building this and running it for the first time on this machine. So let's see, Maui program.cs does the usual things. Here's the use Telerik extension method that just hooks up some of the things we need. And it's bringing in fonts, nothing else special about it. So you can see that VS Code, C# extension, and the .NET MAUI extension already identify this as a .NET MAUI project. So it says, hey, I can run this on a Mac or on iOS or on Android. Here are all of your simulators, right? So let's run this on my Mac. Sure, this might take a while for the first build. Sure. Oh, also, this is new for the .NET MAUI extension. It used to have a .NET MAUI debugger. Now it's just a generic C# debugger. Yes, that one. So it's exactly the same as Visual Studio C# debugging experience. So again, I haven't changed any line of code here. I'm just firing up this app. Let's see. Optimizing assembly. So it's done with the build, actually, which is fairly quick for a big app. And it's now just talking to Xcode, coming back with the app package. And off we go, looks like. It's coming, it's coming. There it is. Okay, so first build took a while. So this is the Mac desktop app. Again, I can take the same exact app and run it on iOS or Android. You can see how the experience is going to be different. But what we do here is a list of I can expand this a little bit. So here are all of the UI, and all of the examples are right there in the source code, as you saw. And anything that is updated is marked with an updated flag. Anything which is new is marked with a new flag, as you expect. So let's take a look at some of the new stuff. So first up is the AI prompt. So we go into the AI prompt, and this is the view that I get. So envision, this is not hooked up yet to AI, but envision you are trying to build an app where you are trying to give the user an experience where they can go talk to a generative AI service or a large language model or a small language model. So here is where you can have a few views. You are trying to generate some content here. Here are some suggestions. You get to customize what those suggestions look like. So sure, generate key points of a well-written CV, that's fine. And then I can hit generate here. And out comes a little bit of AI powered response. This one here, I'm guessing it's hard coded in here, but take a look at this from a user experience standpoint. If I can maybe zoom in on this here a little bit. So you see what's going on here. We get a couple of different views. We asked a question about what's a well-written CV or resume, and AI got us back some results. Now, as in like Copilot or any other type of AI, you want to iterate as a user. Maybe you like a response, maybe you don't like a response. And that's why you have the rating controls. You can copy this out, you can retry it. Now keep in mind, LLMs, large language models, are non-deterministic, which means if you ask it the same exact question with the same exact input parameters, your answers are not going to be the exact same thing, because every time it's a probabilistic way of responding. So you can ask the same question and see what you get back. Or if you're happy with it, copy that and paste somewhere else. This is the input view, right? That's the view we started with. This is the output view, like from a user standpoint. So this is the UI that's kind of wrapping up your AI experience entirely. And then we have some commands, like what if I want to simplify this? What if I want to translate this or expand this? This one's not doing much. Oh, it actually does have German and Spanish built in. So let's say I want this in German. Did that do anything? Maybe this one is not hooked up. Can I do Spanish? Oh, there it is. Yeah. So now it's in Spanish. So again, we are going off to AI, or maybe you are hard coding the localization. That's up to you. But this is the experience that you get out of the box. And this is the experience you will get on every platform nowadays. So let's go back here to the AI prompt. This is the first look that we saw. And can I copy this out? Let's do that again. Let's make sure it works. I'll generate, and let's do a copy. Oh, the copy is disabled because this is a sample app, but I can hook it up to be posted anywhere else I want. And that whole experience can be driven off there's just this little classic AI looking button, so I can just put that button anywhere and have it light up. So we'll take a look at how that is wired up. Let's see what else is new. Collection view is new, enables users to display a scrollable list of collections. All right. So exactly what you hope. It's a collection view, and it scrolls very, very smoothly. You can bind it to 100,000 records, which we do not recommend that you do on the client side. But if you did, it's still going to be very, very smooth scrolling, because we do virtualize scrolling very well. So even if you bind it to 100,000 records, we are not going to actually data bind visually to 100,000 records. We do it for however many, like 100, 200 that you can display. And then we look ahead in our data set for the next 200 as you're scrolling, and then so on. So it's a nice experience. And this one is all driven by templates. You can see how things look, and you can do, reordering things. You can group, you can do anything you want. So this is grouping based on that collection. And you can sort and you can filter. Configuration here is how you want to orient this. So here's horizontal if you wanted that look, which looks weird on this list here. Let's go back to vertical. item length, item spacing, selection mode, single, double, multiple, whatever you need. So again, if I go to multiple, now I can select one, I can select two, as many as I want, exactly as you expect. So a full-on collection view that is very, very, excuse me, like well optimized. What is this one here? Oh, the installer. Yeah, we are well past the installer. Yes, move it into trash. I actually like any installers will take the time to move it into trash because I don't need the installer anymore once I have the bits. Okay, so that's the collection view. Combo box, data grid gets updated. Let's take a look at the data grid. This is kind of the mother of all data grids. We are known for our grids and charts. So this is an absolutely full-featured data grid that you can think of. Data formatting, let's see what's new in here. This formatting supported by .NET MAUI data grid, data currency exchange. Oh, okay. So if you have like converters, like we'll display currency and exchange rates or date times in whatever format that you want. This is new. Search as you type. Search panel visibility, always visible, or search trigger when it's text change versus completed. Okay, so it's giving me a search box on top of my data grid. So in the past, you'd have to do like a drop down, that's a separate control, and then have your data grid. Now you can just kind of do it all together. So let's see, I see some Brazil in here. Yeah, let's start with Brazil and see what it does. Yeah, okay, so this is nice. So it's actually sorting and not sorting, but finding and filtering by exactly the things that, tells you up front, like how many matches I have, which is nice. And then I can come out. What else do I have? I have USA. Yeah, 122 matches right there. So this is nice. Search as you type. I don't see an example for the Skia column, but I'm sure they're in the docs, which is nice. Okay, data grid. Let's see. Navigation view is updated. Rich text editor is updated. Slider is new. Classic slider look and feel, and this is good with your thumb or with your mouse and keyboard. Yep. Yep. Classic slider, and I can configure things. Oh, that's a lot of configuration. Tick steps, label steps, tick placement, colors, thickness, just a lot, right? So it's a slider that you can data bind and go to town and do however you need rendering it. Okay, so that's all of the Maui bits on a desktop app. How about I want to run this on mobile and see what the experience looks like? So again, without changing any code, I am going to just go in here and let's try to run this on a smaller iPhone 15 Pro Max. Yeah, let's run it there. And by the way, while I'm running this, it is running on .NET 8. So here, I'm sure the platform things are as the exact runtime is passed in as a reference as an input, but the Maui version, that's something you can pass in as an input, but it takes in the Telerik version here is also an input control, but it's running on whatever is the latest and greatest. On my machine, it's .NET 8. I do have some .NET 9 bits, but this is running on .NET 8 right now. So let's go ahead and run this on an iPhone 15 Max. Run that. So now you're going to see the same exact app looks a little different because now you're running on a mobile form factor. Excuse me. We'll do a fresh build. It's going off to Xcode, finding the right thing, doing the build, coming back with that package. All right, so looks like my app is up and running. Oh, it's on a different monitor. There it is. All right, iPhone 15 Pro Max comes up. There it is. So, excuse me, same exact app, but you can see how we change up the UI because now you're on a mobile form factor. So this is now a scrollable kind of a collection view. Maybe the music is a little too loud. Hold on. Come back a little bit. There we go. I'm using a slider, which would be nice to have in my Maui app now. Okay, so here's an example of us catering to mobile and desktop form factors. Here, this collection of demo apps that you can go see. Highlighted controls. Oh, what happened? No, it's back. Okay, AI prompt. So now again, you see the exact same experience that we saw on desktop. Now this one here is for mouse and keyboard. So same exact things. So can I just, I'm wondering if this is already pre-wired. I don't think it is. Um, I'm pretty sure this is not wired in. Uh, oh, see, it's trying to complete, which is nice. Inline predictions space. Okay, yeah. Yeah. For real prompt processing, can you please go do this? Because this is not hooked up, because we don't want it to be powered by a key that's open for any type of usage, because that's going to rake up a huge bill for our cloud services, right? So, hook it up to a real AI. This is saying, hey, I don't know how to do that, but I can do some of the built-in stuff, generate key points of a well-written CV. I can generate that, and I can translate this. I can expand. Um, so those are my extra options. What's a simplify do? This is, huh. Oh, so it's how verbose it is. Like you can have a lot or you can have a little bit, and so on. So let's try the translate again here to German. Oh, there it is. That's in German. Yeah. So that's localization kind of built in, right? So done with that, close that. And again, all of this is kind of hidden behind that one little thing. And what the app does really nicely is I can get information about this first look. I can look through some source code, or that little GitHub icon is taking you to the GitHub repo, so you can check out the source code yourself. All right, so all of this is similar to what we looked at. Let's take a look at the collection view. Now it's going to look very different on mobile. And this is kind of where it really shines, a collection view that is super smooth scrolling on desktop versus mobile. So you get the idea. Let's stop here and take a quick look at the code here just to see how this is wired up. And maybe we can do some of this ourselves if time permits. Right, so let's go here into the AI prompt control. The first look example, yeah. So this is hard-coded, I'm pretty sure. AI items, okay. So here, let's stop the app here for a second. Okay, so here we have some suggestions, some formats, some languages. Here's the input text, here's the response, and this is all MVVM. AI items are here, and it's all wired up here. Here's my dummy AI service. So this is why it's not hooked up. So everything is local here in like JSON format. So here's a dictionary of all the responses that you got in Spanish and German and in English. Here is a dictionary of, the first one is an LLM dictionary, second one is an HTML dictionary, and some info messages, AI items, collection of AI items, try, expand this, simplify this, and blah, blah, blah. Here's the XAML. So take a look at how simple this is. All we are doing here is the RAD AI prompt button, which is for us to bring up that modal dialog, not modal, but just a dialog view. And that's the AI prompt. In here it's data bound to a few things: the input text, data bound to the suggestions, the output items, the commands, everything is data bound. And yeah, pretty standard stuff. If I look at the code behind, it's going to be pretty bare bones here, because all it's doing is, everything is wired up already here through the view model. So the view model is saying, hey, I am the one who's going to make your AI prompt light up. Here's all the information that you need to go bind yourself to. Okay, a whole bunch of lists here. Here are the two suggestions. Again, this is where you get to come in and define what the suggestions need to look like for your users, right? I can add more commands like expand, simplify, translate. If you want more languages, you can go add those languages right in here. Input texts, AI prompts, blah, blah, blah. A lot of here binding execute, or is it, can execute, and then there's an actual execute. Here is a can execute. So if you have an empty string, it doesn't let you execute because there is nothing to go to AI with. If it's not null or empty, then you can go and execute that, and then we fire off to AI, and wire this up. Okay, so looks pretty standard. Language.cs has a collection of languages. Format has those three ways in which we can show the output, suggestions, and so on. So pretty standard way of using the AI prompt. And we can look through all of those ones, like the chat control is new, data grid control, PDF processing is new, all of that good stuff. So we can try hooking this up to a real AI service. But before I do that, I should look at some of the desktop things, and then we'll come back to this. All right, so let's close this for a second. And here, I'm going to go into my Windows PC, which is actually the one that's showing the stream. So you might have a little inception. So let's go take a look here. Oh, no, actually, I don't want Parallels Desktop because that's going to be running on this machine. I want to remote into my other Windows tower that's sitting under my desk. Let's close this. Let's remote into that. Where did it go? There we go. So there's my Nook. And I can connect to it. Yeah. So now I'm looking at my Windows box. That's the big wallpaper of the day. So what I'm trying to say is, for all of this stuff, again, you don't need to trust what I'm saying. You can go look by yourself. iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac, their app stores, go look for stuff here. So if I search for Telerik, you're going to see all of these apps, right? And in here is the MAUI controls, the desktop app that I just showed you running locally. We have a few sample apps like ERP, CRM, Xamarin, and so on. But in there is also the crypto app, which is really nice to look at, WPF samples and WinForms and other things, so which is really nice. So you can just download the apps and check out all of the UI right here. So these are all store apps, so they're running in a trial mode. So let's go take a look. This one here is the WPF app. Let's go look at that. Ta-da-da. Let's see. All right. So up comes the WPF app. And again, let me close that simulator that's sitting there that I don't need right now. So if you have a modern desktop app to build, it doesn't need to look like it's like gray, Battleship gray, old school desktop app. It can be modern. It can be touch enabled. So here is like we have a marker here that says 2024 Q2. That's our latest release. So if you want to look at the bits, make sure you get the latest app or just update the app. So you get to look at all of the newest UI. This one here is a modern, fresh WPF app with some, themes that you can, adhere to or start off and then customize. So here is a list of all of the new stuff. Here's the AI prompt. This one has some theming as well. So let's look at the AI prompt here on WPF. Similar things, but this one has a slightly different example. You got some prompt suggestions like out of office or LinkedIn post about work-life balance and so on. Let's do an out of office thing, and then let's do a generate. So this is where you're trying to use AI to generate like an out of office response, and you can copy, you can retry, you can thumbs up, thumbs down, pretty easy. And then here are the list of commands again. So I can change the formality. Oh, this is nice. So I can do casual or neutral or formal. If I do casual, what does it change? Oh, this one's like, stepping out for a bit, You're like, yo, I'm out for a bit. So it changes the tone, I suppose. This is all, again, powered by whatever your AI service is going to respond. Then I can translate to German. Yeah, there you go. It goes German. I wish I spoke German. I don't. So you get the idea. And all of this is, again, hidden behind that little button here. What is nice here with the WPF as well as the WinUI or the WinForms examples is you can take a look at the code right in here. Again, you can go get the source code. If you did the installer, we'll give you all of this, or you can just look at it right here. So let's, make this a little bigger. So here's the AI service. Here's the English, the German, the Spanish that you saw. And it's just showcasing the files that are used to power up that piece of UI. So here's the view model and then how things are wired up. And then here is the actual XAML, because this is WPF. Let's, make that a little bigger. So somewhere in here, you're going to see us use, it's a grid, that's a grid. Here's the RAD AI prompt button. RAD stands for Rapid Application Development. So you can rapidly, power up a nice piece of UI with some Telerik help. And here's the RAD AI prompt with all of its bindings to input text, to suggestions, and output text, and so on. So we show you all of that right in here. Let's go back. What else is new? In this new category, we have new AI prompt. Let's look at data management has a new or updated grid view. Let's look at the date range picker. Oh, and the AI prompt I forgot to show, there is a nice way to theme this thing as well. So notice how this AI prompt, like this is the UI that we are delivering, but you can change it up to like any UI, like this one's on a high contrast Office 2019 theme, and you can do that, or Visual Studio 2019 dark, or fluent type of style. So all of these themes are available. You just change one line of code to switch your theme, and then your AI prompt looks very different, right? Which is nice. Let's take a look at home and date range picker. This one here, I'm guessing is, oh, that's a fancy chart here. This one here lets you choose a date range, like from which month to which month do you want to go. And I think I can click and drag, yeah. And then that's my date range. So that date range picker, including ways to navigate first half, second half, you can do custom range. So all of that is now done. And again, I can take a look at the source code. What else is new? Grid view. What's new here? This grid is, WPF grid. It's very, very mature. It has everything that you can think of under the sun, including exporting, printing functionality. Did we have a menu of what's different? Oh, look at that. Forget 100,000 records. Scrolling through 1 billion cells, we can do that too, because it's data visualization. So it doesn't actually tell me what in here is brand new or updated, but take a look at how many samples we have for the data grid. It's a lot. What else is new? Go back to home. SVG image, grid view is updated, chart view. So you get the idea. I can scroll through this. I can look at featured controls. I can look at all of this other UI and see how that's working out. Okay, that's WPF. Now let's switch to WinForms. That's the WinForms demo. And again, I did update these things, so they're showing up as, again, the 2024 Q2. If you don't see that, then you're looking at the older app. You may want to update. So in here, my grid view, chart view are updated, but here's the AI prompt again. You got to sprinkle AI on everything because your users are expecting AI integration, so why not? Same exact thing, out of office response. Go ahead and generate that, and here's the same response. Copy, retry, thumbs up, thumbs down. You got the output view, and then you have your commands, which is nice. So you can do that as old as WinForms, as new as .NET MAUI, or somewhere in between with WPF. Included in there are themes, so I can switch up my themes and see how this thing is going to look like. That's the AI prompt again. That looks very different in the dark mode. Okay. All right. So WinForms, WPF, and here's the .NET MAUI app. Just from the store. I ran it locally, but this is just from the store. Same exact app. You get the idea, right? All right. So that's about some of the broad pieces. Let me close this out so I can try doing some more things here. I am going to pull up the stream again so I don't miss your comments. I'm going to log back into that same machine that we were looking at. So what's in here? Can I see my own stream? Yeah. All right, it's showing me an ad, but after that I can see myself. I don't get enough of myself, so I need to see myself on stream. Okay, so what am I doing here? If I went through all of the WPF stuff, right? We looked at the AI prompt. This is stuff we didn't look at. So support for .NET Framework 4.6.2, .NET 6.0 and above. Smart AI, oh, we didn't look at these ones here, which are super nice. The smart spreadsheet control, and then the smart rich text box. So what this does is, where would those demos, why are they not highlighted as new? Because this is super smart. So take a look at this example here where looks like we're going by Formula One winners, and we can just drag and we generate all of that through AI, because it can look ahead, it can see what you're trying to do. Michael Schumacher won in 2000, and then all the way up in 2010, it's going to tell you who won those Formula One races. So again, an example of document processing library coming in with a spreadsheet control. Where exactly was that? Hold on, I got to go look now. How did I miss that? How did I miss that? Where is that? Because what it has is the smart spreadsheet control, and then a smart rich text box, and then document processing updates. We looked at the date range. That's pretty nice. PDF processing updates, zip library updates. But where were these two smart components? I totally missed that. Here's the smart AI. That's a GitHub repo. To run the examples, you should first, oh, okay, I see. So this one here, since it's a smart AI component, it actually needs AI to back itself before it can start working. So you need to acquire your own key credentials and access Azure OpenAI before it will start working. So that's why it's not a part of this, because it needs the AI to actually function. We cannot like fake it entirely. Smart AI components for Blazor, ASP.NET Core, WPF, and WinForms. Smart AI components. This one here is talking about rich text box. So app specification. What about Telerik? Oh, I see. So it is a smart text box. But for me to run this, I will need to hook it up to some AI components. Okay. So the source code is out there. I just need to hook it up so I can show this. Okay, I can do that. Maybe off stream, but I can definitely do that. My good friend Ed is here. Ed, AI all the things. Yeah, we are going to AI this thing. AI the heck out of this. On Monday, Ed and me are going to do a live stream. But let's come back here. I got like 3 minutes left. I thought I'll do an hour, and hour just blows by. Okay, so let's step out of this for a second. My remote connection, and let me log back into my machine and close that. So Ed, if you're watching, we need to hook up Real AI for some of the smart components, as one would expect. So we'll do that for our webinar, because it's not a part of the default demos, because those are out in the stores, and we don't want everybody to be running up a bill because they're calling into smart components which need AI to run. So these we will just run by ourselves. Now, the one thing I could do, and I'm not going to have time to do that today, maybe I can start. So one of the things that I was thinking of doing was actually, making this light up with some real AI integration. I have some NuGet packages that I use to fire up my AI commands. But how do I start if I needed to? So here are my controls. AI prompt overview. So here's the AI prompt, exactly how you saw it look through the examples. No, we don't want AI on VR. It's convoluted as it is. Yeah, you go deploy Blazor Hybrid to VR. Yeah, so this one here, I'm sure Ed has plenty of demos of the Blazor AI prompts working with AI services. This is new for .NET MAUI and WPF and WinForms. We are bringing it everywhere. So this one here, if I look at the visual structure, this kind of shows you exactly how it's broken out. So you get 3 different views: inputs, outputs, and commands. And you can customize exactly how each one looks like. Here's the input editor as the user is typing in. Here are the suggestions, which again, you get to customize. Here's the input button for you to actually generate and go off to AI, generate the output. And here's the AI prompt button behind which all of this UI is hidden away. And then you can customize it and hook it up to commands that do different things. copy buttons, retry buttons, and all so on. So here's all of the displayed elements, commands, suggestions, input, and so on. Getting started, let's see what we have put in the docs. This one here is saying, hey, just bring this in. Here's my data binding with a view model. Here's my inputs. Here's my output. Can execute prompt, and then execute prompt. This is the place where you don't want a fake response text. You actually want to grab the response coming back from AI. So here is my extension method, pretty standard stuff. So you will start here and then plug in your API keys, and then that's going to light up the UI as you generate this. Okay, I can do all of that and show off the AI prompt for .NET MAUI and WinForms and WPF for our webinar. So Ed and me are going to show off all of this stuff on Monday. Today was just an exploration of what's in it. We'll come back, with a little bit of formality around us. Like it's the one day we wear a shirt, and I lose my hat trying to do a webinar because it's for everyone who uses our UI as well as for anybody new. So in the meantime, if you're curious, take a look at blogs.telerik.com, or just head out to telerik.com. You're going to see that yellow banner, and you're going to, if you hit that checkout, the new components, you're going to end up on this page, which lists out everything that's in there from a design standpoint, from an AI integration standpoint, all the brand new UI, embracing next-gen frameworks with .NET 9 and Next.js and Kendo React and Angular 18. Productivity boosts with Fiddler, JustMock, reporting, testing, all of that good stuff. And again, each product has a nice listing of exactly what's new. I'm going to call it a stream here, folks, and thank you for joining me here on Code It Live. This was just an exploration, brand new. You saw me get the bits. You saw me get the store apps. If you wanted to look through the UI, you can do all of this yourself. Be productive, be well, and we'll see you around. Okay? All right. Bye for now.